Hello, you all, or for those of us who speak right, hey, y'all. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. I've been on the road a lot lately, on the road again, in the immortal words of Willie. But I'm back, and the friendly neighborhood mail lady has delivered. There's a package in the mailbox, and it is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, but it isn't this one. I'll show you this one in just a minute because I got this before I left. Anyway, I'll show you the one I got. That one is right here, and I'm going to just jump right on it. I'm not going to jump on it, actually. That might be bad. Although it looks like somebody already has jumped right on it. And this one is from Waterstones in, where are they? In Gloucester? That doesn't sound right. Glevenworks, Gloucester, GL, United Kingdom. But they shipped my book in a box that is barely bigger than the box, and it came all the way from United Kingdom to the United States, and it took some abuse, and there's not much cushion in there, so I'm feeling a little bit less than optimistic in terms of what kind of condition I'm going to get. And I've seen some people's packages on the Facebook, people bragging, saying, hey, I got my book, it's beautiful, I'm so excited, and they're showing us a book that's mashed and mushed and all that stuff. And I don't like busted up books. If there's one thing in this world that I hate, it's a busted up book. But look at there. Here's the problem. There is nothing between a lot of bust and a book, but nothing. No room, no cushioning, no padding. So I'm hoping for the best still. There's a chance. There's always a chance that it might be okay in here. And fingers crossed. Can you see that? But this, I'm going to show you this one first. Let's see. Well, first let me look at her. So we got a little bit of folding there, but it isn't. Oh, it isn't bad. It isn't bad. My fingers will mash that back in place. What are the corners like? What do you think? How do you like them corners? They look good at a glance. Them corners, they look good at a glance. So crappy packaging aside, it looks like my book is acceptable in my eyes. But nobody ever said my eyes were the best. But this is the United Kingdom. It's essentially the UK trade edition. But companies over there like Waterstones and like Goldsboro, who I'm a big fan of, and others, they will often get these UK firsts from the publisher. And this is from Tor Nightfire. Anyway, they'll often get these and they'll have them specially made. So they'll have maybe some odds and ends, some little additions for their editions, for their sales. Sometimes some added features to them. Let me take this dust jacket off here, and they'll mark them up a little bit, and they'll sell them. And I dig that kind of stuff because I liked autographed books, and I like books with additional features. I love that cover artwork. It just looks cool. It's nothing fancy, nothing really special, but it doesn't take fancy and special to look cool, right? Right. Anyway, I think it looks great. I love the color. I love the doom and gloom aspect. I love the bloody, dripping blood on the cover and the light in the window at the top of that mansion. Waterstones signed exclusive edition. They did put a sticker on the cover just so there would be no mistaking that it was a Waterstones signed exclusive edition. So you can see my corner there is a little mushed, and my fingers automatically just do their thing, and they go to that mush, and they start to push the mush and make it a little bit better. But the spine, bright white stamping on the spine, slightly embossed, and that top edge stain and the dripping blood down the edges. It looks cool. Unfortunately, my books go on the shelf like that and you won't see it, but I'll always know. And when I don't always know, I forget. Maybe one day I'll pull it off the shelf and I'll say, ooh, cool, man. I like that kind of stuff. And that's why I made the purchase. But our end papers, blood red. Now this, I said, is a trade edition with exclusive features. And you can see it is a flat out glued binding trade sort of glued binding. So nothing special in the actual construction of the book, it would be the trade edition. Now, here's why I buy. They add this tipped-in page. It says Nightfire with a goat, a stamp, and a bubble signed Grady. And then it says signed by the author. So as far as Grady's signatures go, at times I've gotten Grady's signatures where he signs Grady Hendrix, and a lot of times he just signs Grady. But when you're signing this many, there's so many signed editions of his books when they come out, the trade editions, the US versions, different bookstores are getting signed editions. The UK versions, they're getting signed editions. He signed so many. I'm not surprised, and not even disappointed to see the name kind of get shrunken a little bit. It's self-preservation. The hand can only sign a name so many times before it causes trouble. But just kind of flipping through here. It is a trade edition, but you can see it's not all just pages and words. And that text looks pretty cool. The pages are white, but a slight creamy color. And the text size is good. So everything about this one would be good for reading. And I think I was able to secure an ARC, advanced reader copy ARC on the Kindle. I think I got one of this one. So I got to get it read quickly. I need to get on it quick. I'm behind on my reading. But that is the Waterstones signed exclusive edition from the UK. And I'm going to show you that US trade edition that I teased about earlier. And we'll do a little bit of a comparison. Now, this one I got from Curious Iguana. And I paid shipping and all $31.50 US. Of course, it's a US book shipped to the US. So I got this one from Curious Iguana. This is the Berkeley US trade hardcover. And I put the Broad Art Adjust-to-Fold 3 so it's so shiny. But the cool thing, I wish I didn't have this on there right now to show you. That is a metallic gold, and it really pops. It looks really good on the cover. And the lava lamp also looks so good with the glossy stuff over it. It does take a little bit away. And that would be the negative for me of these dust jacket covers. The positive is, hopefully 30 years from now, the dust jacket is still tippity top under the plastic. And I've got some old books with dust jackets that are chewed up pretty good along here and along here, especially on the bottom from being put on the shelf and removed from the shelf. The paper just gets frayed and whitened. So I started putting the dust jacket protectors on long ago. But here is the US hardcover from Curious Iguana. And they sent this little postcard with it. And I just stuck that in the book. And then they sent also a bookmark. Curious Iguana bookmark. This might have been my first purchase from them. But it's also signed. It doesn't have anything on the signature page saying it's a signed copy or anything like that. Signed it on the blank page. And Grady, signed Grady. And he put a stamp of a young witch on there. But one of the things that Grady does, Grady Hendrix, we're friends. I call him Grady all the time. He calls me Tim. And I say, thank you. Anyway, what he often does, and I've been to one signing, but every daggone book he signed at that signing, he had a stamp. He had a stack of stamps and a stack of pens. And he would look at the title, and he would pick the right stamp for that title. He would stamp it. Then he'd pick the right pen for the color of the page or whatever, a black page, a white page, or something else. He'd pick a pen that would be appropriate, and he would sign it, and he would write little verbiage on there of some sort on some of them. And if you wanted it personalized, he'd sign it to whomever and stuff like that. So he's a really cool fella. Signs a lot of stuff, apparently, for retailers as well. Really cool fella. And it adds a little special panache to his stuff. But that's the book. And I haven't read this one. I've read a handful of Grady Hendrix books, and I've enjoyed them all. My favorite that I've read being, my favorite of the Grady books that I read was My Best Friend's Exorcism, probably followed by Horror Store. I really liked Horror Store. I haven't read this one yet, but here's what it says. It says they call them wayward girls, loose girls, girls who grew up too fast, and they're sent to Wellwood House in St. Augustine, Florida. I've been there. Love that place. Go at Christmas time. You wouldn't think Florida would have a town that's amazing for Christmas, St. Augustine really does it to it for Christmas. I mean, lights everywhere, music everywhere, decorations. Go in the summertime, catch some waves, see this historic part. Neat place where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to give birth in secret, put their babies up for adoption, and most important of all, forget any of it ever happened. 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home in the sweltering summer of 1970, pregnant, terrified, and alone. There she meets a dozen other girls in the same predicament. Rose is a hippie who insists she's going to keep her baby, and to keep my baby, escape to a commune. Xenia, a budding musician who plans to marry her baby's father, and Holly, barely 14, mute and pregnant by no one knows who. Every moment of their walking day is strictly controlled by adults who claim to know what's best for them, until Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft, and suddenly power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it create. Maybe I ought to learn to read. Power can destroy as easily as it creates. It is never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. So this version right here, as you saw it, I paid shipping and all, US dollars, $49.60 to get this shipped from the United Kingdom. I got some cool bloody edges, an actual signed signature page that said it was signed for them, and that cover artwork. And this one is the US edition with also amazing cover artwork, right for the period, and very different in theme and design. It doesn't come with an actual signature page. It was signed on a blank page. Cool stamp, Grady as a signature. No other additional features. I paid $31.50 for that delivered. So I'll show you a little bit about the pages on the Berkeley edition, what she'll look like. There's some dark page edges. So yeah, kind of the same thing there. And that's what you get. That's what you get for what you got. I'm a collector and I'm a fan. So I got one of each. I've been trying to get what I can of this author and some other authors that kind of do similar things. The UK trade from a publisher that likes to add special features and stuff like that. Goldsboro, Waterstones, other good ones too, whose names I can't think of at the moment. The Broken Binding, I don't know. Other people do it also from United Kingdom and send you cool stuff. And the US, and they're both very different. And this one, they're so very different, it really makes it worthwhile having both. I dig it. I'm a collector. I do dumb things all the time. I've got a book over there where I've got 13 different versions of the exact same book. That's dumb. Especially when shelf space is at a premium and money doesn't grow on trees anymore like it used to. Right? But hey, I do dumb things all the time. That's nothing. No surprise. My wife isn't surprised. She's been around it for a while. Anyway, I can think of no more lies to tell. I do truly appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Say lobby. Baby. Doo-doo.
The New York Times says it's terrific. It's terrific.